Hello and welcome to the Feminine Millionaire Show. I'm your host, Polly Alexander. I'm a success coach, healer, creative and future millionaire. If creating money and success in a spiritual and feminine and joyful way is your goal, this show is for you. Let's all rise together. Hello and welcome back to season 2 of the Feminine Millionaire Show. So today's episode is a little bit different. As you know, my favourite topics to talk about are abundance and money and business and success and doing and experiencing all of this in a feminine way, in a whole new way. But today I'm going to share with you a transmission from the sacred site of Hera, the Greek goddess of women. She's also the goddess of marriage and fertility and childbirth, and I had an unexpected but divinely guided visit to this sacred site on my recent holiday, and I received some profound wisdom which I'll share with you today. So this episode is something different, and I would love to hear how it was for you. You can DM me on Instagram at Polly_Alexander. If you're on my mailing list, you can hit reply to any of the mailers. And you can leave me a review. If you're listening on Apple iTunes, which is currently the only platform you can leave a review on, just scroll down to the bottom, hit leave a review, click 5 stars and share how it was for you. Your reviews help this podcast reach more people and they are deeply appreciated. So enjoy today's episode. Hello and welcome to this special transmission from Samos in Greece. So if you've been following the podcast for a while, you will know how I manifested this holiday, and I didn't come here to be on Samos, to be quite honest. I came because there was a beautiful new 5-star hotel that allowed dogs, that checked all my criteria for a super restorative and relaxing holiday. So we came here, but there are no accidents in life, and so when we are drawn or called to go somewhere, when we dig a little deeper, we may find synchronicities, things we're drawn to, messages, people we're supposed to meet. There's always another layer to these instinctive decisions. And what I found out is that the hotel I had chosen is actually just a couple of kilometers from a place called the Heraion of Samos, one of ancient Greece's most important sanctuaries and sacred sites. As my own psychic, Reverend Meg, who's interviewed in an earlier episode of this podcast, said, "The land you stand upon is quite holy. It has been blessed 100,000 times by 100,000 different hands and feet, many, many years ago. And in fact, as far as 600 years before Christ, the ancient Greeks were honouring this land as a sacred site. The goddess Hera is said to have been born under a sacred willow tree on the site. And for thousands and thousands of years since, the different civilizations have erected temples here and places of worship. Now, I think there's 2 different ways to look at a sacred site. One is that it has innate, special properties and energies in that location, which is why people were drawn to it in the first place. And the second is that as people came to this location to worship, they actually imprinted their own energy of reverence and light upon this site. And so the way I see it is that all of this energy from humanity, all of this worship, this reverence, this love, this light, built up in a particular location, making it even more sacred. So I was curious, would this ancient site, which is just a ruin, feel anything special to me? I had to find out, so I set off early one morning to beat the Greek heat. Teddy Pom Pom and I headed off hiking to the site. It's a very, very large site, and the most well-known temple, the Temple of Hera, was built around 570 years BC, and it would have been enormous. It had 156 columns, each of them 25 meters high. An architectural marvel. And they said at the time, the largest of all the temples known to us. It would have been a place of a lot of pilgrimage. So as I walked around the site, I was curious to see what I could pick up intuitively. And as you probably know, if you've been following for a while, the intuitive sense that I am most connected to, that's most developed in me, is clairaudience. So that means the ability to hear words and channel information. And the way it comes through to me is I literally hear the words like someone was talking. We all have these intuitive abilities: clairaudience, clairvoyance, dreaming, clairsentience, and so on. And we tend to have one or two that are more activated in us at a given time. So when I was at the temple, I decided to tune in and see what I could pick up. And the energy was so bright there. I was expecting perhaps a stiller, more reverent energy like one might experience going into a church or a cathedral or a monastery. A slow, still, quiet energy. But this was powerful and bright. It had this almost buzz in the air. And I'm not one for historic sites and maps, and I just used my own inner guidance to wander around the site. And there was a particular point at which I felt very emotional. Tears came to my eyes and flowed. I wasn't quite sure what was going on, but I could feel I was connected to something and something was releasing within me. And so I continued to walk. And I later found out that that was the exact site of this temple. The architectural site is very large with many different remains of different worship sites. However, the exact place where I felt a wave of emotion was this original enormous Temple of Hera. And I really feel that I was picking up on the energy of many people, of the worship of women. Hera was the goddess of marriage, of childbirth, of fertility of women. And I took some time in the Temple of Hera to say a prayer for some of my clients, for whom this energy could really support their journey right now. And for all of you, I sat down under a willow tree and asked Hera what message she had for you. Here's what she said. The future is women. We are strong, beautiful, wise, capable. This is our time. The future is female. Allow yourself to be worshipped and adored. It's time to put yourself on a pedestal. Allow yourself and your wisdom to be revered. This is no time to hide under the olive tree. This is a time to spread your branches far and wide. The world is ready for you. Within you is the wisdom of women through the ages, deep in your cells. Allow it to rise forth and light up the world. Continue the work I have started, and know I am behind you, within you, and leading you forwards. All is well in this world. All is well in this world. I invite you just to breathe in that wisdom and be energized by it, just as I was, stood on this ancient sacred site, blessed 1,000 times by 1,000 different hands and feet. So if you haven't already signed up to my Accelerate Your Abundance Challenge, I invite you to sign up now with the link in the show notes. It's going to be a really powerful vortex of energy, and it's yours for just $33. Or if you sign up by the 11th of September, you actually get to join for free. So hop on that one quickly. If you are calling for a bigger experience of life, then that most likely involves more resources, more energy, more time, more money, more freedom to experience more of life flowing through you. And when you lean into clearing a series of specific money blocks that hold you back from fully experiencing abundance as it's meant for you, magic and miracles happen. This is the process I'm going to be giving you a taste of in this challenge. So I look forward to seeing you over there. Sign up with the link in show notes.